A seller I know listed her home and got exactly 0 showings in the first 2 weeks. Not 0 offers, 0 showings. Nobody even wanted to see her home. When I looked at her listing photos, which is the first thing I always do, I immediately understood. The kitchen counter had a coffee maker, a toaster, an air fryer, a knife block, a fruit bowl, a paper towel holder, a stack of mail, and what appeared to be a decorative rooster. The living room had so much furniture in it, it made a 2,000 square foot home look like a studio apartment. And the primary bedroom had photos on every flat surface, and a treadmill in the corner that had become a very expensive clothes hanger. None of these items made her home look bad. It just made it invisible to the buyer. Here's the thing about preparing your home that most sellers don't understand. You're not cleaning, you are editing. You are taking a home that has been fully lived in, and that is the way it should be. And you're pulling it back until it looks like a place that somebody else can live their life. And that is a completely different task than just tidying up. So today I'm going to go over 30 things to get rid of your home before it hits the market. Not suggestions, a list that goes room by room. And when you're done, your home will show better, it will photograph better, and it will give the buyers the one thing that they're looking for when they walk through. The ability to imagine themselves here instead of you. And that is the goal. Before the list, there's one number worth knowing. According to NAR's 2025 profile of home staging, 29% of agents said that staged homes received offers between 1% and 10% higher than comparable unstaged homes. And 49% of sellers agents said staging reduced the time their listings spent on the market. On a $400,000 home, 1% is $4,000, but 5% is $20,000. That is not a rounding area. That is what presentation is worth. And staging does not mean that you need to hire someone so that you can start renting their furniture. It starts with removal. Taking things out costs nothing. It's about being honest about what pieces are in the way. Let's go through the list. We're going to start with the most important room in the house, and that's the kitchen. Number 1 is to remove everything on the kitchen counter except for 2 or 3 items. And I mean literally. The goal is counter space. Buyers buy kitchens, and what they're buying is a sense that there is room to cook, there is room to move, and there is room to live. Your counter covered in appliances tells the buyer that there is not enough storage space. Even if there is, it's going to be the visual that's going to register. Second thing to go, get rid of appliances that you use maybe one time a week. You know, the air fryer that only comes out on weekends, the juicer from your January health kick, the bread maker that you've used maybe twice. Box them up. If you need to use them, keep them close. You know where they're at. The third thing to go are those decorative items that are just there. The rooster, the inspirational sign, that little ceramic bowl that holds nothing. Trust me, buyers are not going to make an offer in your home and buy it because you've got a rooster. What they're looking for is open, clean space. The fourth thing to get rid of, the pile of mail and papers. You know, that stack that just keeps growing. Every home has a spot where things land. Maybe it's the end of the kitchen counter, or it might be the dining room table, or it might be a little tray next to the front door. Clear it completely and keep it clear for every showing. Buyers notice this spot specifically. It is the first signal of how you maintain your home day to day. Number 5 to get rid of, magnets, photos, basically everything you've got on your refrigerator. A refrigerator covered in photos and magnets, it's just visual noise. It's going to make your kitchen feel smaller, and it's going to make it feel more personal during the showings. I want you to take it all down. The refrigerator should be a neutral appliance. It should not be the family bulletin board. Number 6, anything under the sink that is not a cleaning product needs to go. Buyers, they open the cabinet underneath the sink every single time. If yours looks like a landfill of half-empty bottles, grocery bags, and mystery items from 3 years ago, that is what the buyer's going to remember. Clear it out and organize what you're going to keep. Number 7, get rid of any dish towels or oven mitts that are worn and mismatched. While these items are small, they are almost in every listing photo in the country. Swap out for fresh, neutral towels. They cost almost nothing, and they really upgrade your kitchen in those listing photos. It is one of the highest ROI swaps that you can make for the price of a trip to the home goods store. Number 8 brings us to the living room. I know this is a big ask, but I want you to remove 30% of your furniture. Most living rooms are overfurnished, not because sellers have bad taste, but because you live in your home. And as you're living in your home through all those years, you keep adding things to that space. For showings, the goal is flow. Buyers need to be able to move through the space, and when they step back, their eye lands on the space, not all those little things inside the space. I want you to do this test. If you are unable to walk a clear path from the entry of the home to the back of the home, you have too much furniture. Number 9, get rid of the extra pillows and the blankets. 3 throw pillows on the sofa, maybe 4. Certainly not 11. Buyers do not see cozy, they see clutter. This goes also for the stack of blankets that you've got folded on the ottoman or the little basket in the corner of all those blankets. They need to go. Have one blanket folded nicely if the room calls for it. Everything else, pack it up. Number 10 is the one I get the most pushback on, and it is also the one that makes the biggest difference, and that is your personal photos. Look, I get it. Those are your people. This is your life. It all has meaning to you. But it's really hard for a buyer to picture themselves living in this home if they've already got the presence and reminder that somebody else already lives in there. Every personal photo is a reminder to the buyer that they are a guest in your space, which makes it hard to imagine what their life would look like there. Look, you're gonna take all those photos with you to your next house anyway, so go ahead and pack them up carefully and get them prepared to move. Number 11, I want you to remove collections, display items, and memorabilia. I just had a seller call me and said, Tammy, we want you to come list the home, but we want to leave all of the figurines and all of our memorabilia. We don't want to take it with us. My heart stopped for a moment as I had to tell him, it is very unlikely that a buyer is going to come through your home and want to buy it because you're leaving your collections and your memorabilia. Buyers, when they're looking for a home, are not looking for homes that are showcasing those items. Buyers, when they come in, they need to see the wall and the space where their collection is going to go. The items that are important to them. Number 12 on the list is the oversized entertainment center. If your entertainment center is taking up most of the wall space and making the room feel like it's a home theater installation, consider whether a smaller footprint is going to serve your space better. This is one of the most common reasons why living rooms photograph as small as they do. Number 13, remove those area rugs that have seen better days. A worn rug is going to make the room look like it's tired. If your rug still has a few years left in it and you absolutely want to keep it, please do so, but let's just roll it up and put it aside for now. What's going to photograph a lot better and look great in your listing photos is a room with no rug and a nice clean floor. That's what the buyers are looking for anyway, is they want to see what they're going to get when they buy the home, and they're not going to get your worn out rug. Number 14 to remove, kids' toys that have taken over the space. If the living room looks like it's a secondary play area, it's time to reclaim the space and turn it back into a living room. Now, I'm not saying become a big meanie and take all the kids' toys away. No, I'm saying keep out the ones that they care about the most. Everything else can get packed away for the next home, and the ones that they truly do love, they could be stored or put away during the showings. Buyers, especially one with children, they understand that families live in the home and toys are just part of it, but they still need to see the space without worrying about what landmine they're going to step on. If you're getting ready to list your home and you want someone in your corner who's going to tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear, there's a link in the description so you can grab time on my calendar. We will jump on a quick Zoom. We're going to look at your situation honestly and figure out what the right next step is together. And if you're not in my market, that's fine too. I can connect you with the right agent where you are. There's no pressure. This is just a conversation. Number 15 brings us to the bedroom. The first one is the primary bedroom. It's got one job, and that is to make it feel like it's a retreat. If it has a treadmill, a desk, a reading chair, a dresser, 2 nightstands, and a bed, it feels more like a storage room with a mattress in it. Decide what the room is. If it's a bedroom, show it as a bedroom. Everything else needs to go. Number 16, unless this room is specifically designed as a home gym, all that exercise equipment needs to go. The treadmill, the stationary bike, the free weights that you got stacked in the corner, yes, all of it needs to go. I have never once seen exercise equipment in the bedroom improve that showing. If you need to, move it to the garage during the listing period if you are unable to put it into a storage unit. At a bare minimum, it needs to be out of the bedroom. Number 17, remove all the personal items on the nightstand. You know what I'm talking about. The reading glasses, medications, a stack of books piled 6 high. Clear the nightstand to 1 lamp and 1 small item on each nightstand. That's it. Buyers are walking into your room, they're walking up to the nightstand, and they're taking a look at it. Give them nothing to give them a reason to take a second look for the wrong reason. Number 18, the overloaded closet. Buyers open closets. Every single closet, every single room, every single time. What they're looking for is they're looking for storage space. And when they open the closet and things come falling out at them, or if it's packed so tight, it tells them there's not enough storage. Remove anything that is off-season in clothing. Remove any extra linens. Remove anything that you haven't even touched in years. A closet that that is half full or even 2/3 full, it looks like it's abundant space. But a closet that is overflowing, it looks like a problem. Number 19 to remove, the kids' artwork and highly personalized decor. In children's bedrooms where there is a very themed decor, the room can feel unusable to a buyer who either doesn't have children or they don't have children who are in love with that specific decor. So go for a neutral bedding, go for a tidy desk and a clean floor so that buyers can actually see the space. Number 20, remove anything on the floor that doesn't need to be there. Laundry, shoes, bags, chargers, extra pillows, because you have 11 on the bed. For every showing, the floor should be completely clear in every bedroom. Floors are one of the first things that buyers point out to their partner and or their agent to show that something is wrong. Give them nothing to work with. Now we're at bathrooms, and number 21, I want you to remove everything on the counter. Yes, your toothbrush, your toothpaste, your makeup, your soaps, your medications, your razors, Q-tips, cotton balls, and the rag that you use to wipe your face. All of it needs to go. For showings, when a buyer walks into the bathroom, what they should see is a cute little soap dispenser, and that's it. Everything else should go underneath the sink or into a closet, and if it's personal like medications, it should probably leave the house with you. When a buyer walks into a bathroom that is full of personal hygiene products, it feels like an intrusion into the seller's space, and that does not often help a buyer bring an offer. Number 22 is to remove your old towels. Now, I'm not saying throw them away. I'm saying definitely use them and keep them for yourself, but for the listing showings and photographs, I want you to get white or neutral towels and pull them out and hang them nicely when you are going to have a showing. Number 23, remove your medications and your personal care items because your cabinets will be open. They will be in there looking. They're not really looking for your medications. They're looking at the storage space. They just happen to see your medications. And honestly, I think that you should either hide those or take them with you when you have a showing. This is as much about your privacy as it is the showing. Number 24, remove all those half-empty bottles that you have in the shower. It's not a good impression when a buyer walks into the shower, and they will, and they see 17 half-used bottles there. Instead, pare it down to the bare minimum that you're going to need to survive during this listing period, and better yet, put it like in a shower caddy so that you can take it in and out of the shower, especially if you know you've got a showing coming up. It's going to be easy just to take it out and put it away. Number 25, and I feel pretty strongly about these two, is empty your trash cans and remove the squatty potty. Nothing is worse than a buyer walking into the bathroom and then their eye lands on the trash can with things that they wish they had never seen. Or they're visualizing what you're doing with your squatty potty, and that's not the impression you want to leave them with. So please make sure that you remove those items. Now we're at the garage, the exterior, and everywhere else. Number 26, I actually get asked about a lot. In the garage, does it need to be empty? No, it does not need to be empty, but it does need to have flow and it does need to look like it functions. So if your garage is overflowing, a buyer is coming in and they're looking to see, will their cars fit and will their life fit in there? And if it's disorganized, that's not the impression you want to leave them with. So what I always tell everybody is make sure that if you need to move things into the garage, just put them in a place and make sure that they're stacked and they look tidy. So no, it doesn't have to be empty, but it should look tidy and it should look like the buyer can move their life into that space. Number 27, I want you to remove all the dead plants and all the overgrown landscaping. When buyers drive up, this is your first impression. That curb appeal, you're never going to get that first impression back again. And when buyers pull up, they're making a decision if they're going to get out of the car, or some of them have just driven away based on curb appeal alone. The ones that do get out of the car are mentally checking, hey, if they didn't take care of the front yard, if they didn't remove a dead plant, what else did they not take care of inside the home? Spend a week before the listing photos and make sure you get that front yard cleaned up. Number 28, I would love for you to remove the vehicles, especially when you're doing your listing photos. There is no reason why you can't move all those vehicles out of the space for the photo. That's going to be your marketing piece online. I would ideally love it if you would also have the vehicles gone during the showing. Now I understand that may not be the case, but I will tell you a lot of times for a showing when there is a vehicle in the driveway, buyers are walking up and they're commenting, well, I wonder if 2 cars will fit, or I wonder if my car will fit, or remember when my family comes, is their car fit? And you are already introducing a question into their mind. Number 29, remove pet items from common areas. You know the ones: the dog bed in the living room, the cat tower in the bedroom, the food bowls in the kitchen. For the photos and for showings, it's ideal to have them removed out of the primary line of sight. This does not mean that a buyer will not buy your house because a pet lives there. Buyers will buy houses with pets there. I have seen in many situations when a buyer notices a pet item, they suddenly have a smell that they are sure that is there, which may not even be there. So don't give them anything to work with. Number 30 is the one I get the most pushback on, and is the one I feel the strongest about. Yes, I want you removed during the showings. Yeah. I don't want you there. You should not be in the backyard or in the garage or in the other room, moving from room to room or going around the block. We don't want you to just pop by. And this is nothing personal against you, but buyers can't talk freely if they know that you are around the corner or you're down the street and they're inconveniencing you by staying in the house and they want to get out so that you can get back in. That's going to rush a buyer who might like your home, but they're so worried about not being able to talk privately or putting you out that they're going to go out of their way to leave as quickly as possible. And we're doing everything we can to get them to stay as long as possible. So when you know you have a showing coming up, I want you to leave. I want you to leave early enough so that you don't run into the buyer and their agent as they're coming in. I want you to take you, any pets, and the family members with you, and give the buyer enough time to stay in the house and fall in love with it. We find that the longer a buyer stays in the home, the more likely they are to make an offer. That is the 30 things. And I want to come back to something I said at the beginning. This isn't about cleaning, this is about editing. The seller that I told you about at the start, the one with the 0 showings, she went back through her home with this list. She cleaned off all the counters. She moved that excess furniture to the garage. She took down all the personal photos and she took the treadmill out of the bedroom. We were able to update all of the listing photos. Showing started in the first 3 days, and by the 10th day, she had an offer. Nothing about the home changed. The price didn't change, the colors didn't change, the square feet did not change. What changed is that buyers were now able to see the home itself instead of everything that was inside the home. That is what this list is for. You don't need a renovation, you need removal. And if you go through this list before your home hits the market, you are already ahead of the majority of the sellers who you are competing with. If anything in this video sounded like your situation or something you see coming, that's your sign to talk to somebody who's going to be honest with you. If you're in Central Florida, I can work with you directly. If you are anywhere else, I have a network of trusted agents that I work with across the country that I would be happy to refer you to. Either way, use the link in the description below to grab time on my calendar. We'll get on a Zoom call, we'll listen to your situation, and we're going to map out a plan that is best for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.